If you are a dividend investor, M1 Finance just came out with a new dividend income tracker, so to speak. And I want to go over this feature and another feature when it comes to reinvesting your dividends. So if you're an M1 Finance user or interested in using M1 Finance as a dividend investing platform, stick around so we can go over these features. Now, as I'm recording this, I checked up on my phone with the latest update, and it's not available on our phones just yet, but ideally this should be coming at some point as well. But it is currently available for me on my desktop. So just something to keep in mind when we're going through this. Now, let me show you how to get to this page and kind of what this is as well too. So first and foremost, I'm going to head back to the main portfolio on my M1 Finance account, which is going to look something like this for you. And we're going to actually go over here where you're going to see holdings at the top of the screen here for us. So when we tap over here, it is now going to bring us to our overview section. And then there's going to be now one section here that's called dividend income. So when we toggle this over, it takes us to this brand new page. And again, there's one other page after this as well too that I want to show you as well. So what this is actually doing is currently toggled on the current year for us, and it is telling us how much dividend income we have, how much has been paid, how much is currently pending, and then how much is estimated for the year, as well as the monthly income. So this is really nice if you're somebody who cares about paying attention to their dividends and how things are looking. Obviously, you can see here everything in that light color is going to be the estimates. There's also some pending, and then anything that has been paid is in blue. Now, one other really cool feature from here is you can, as of this recording, go at least back 1 year. So you can see from this recording what 2023 looked like. It's actually up here on the top right-hand side. And then we can also even project into the next 12 months. So we can kind of see how everything is going to look for us in the future as well. Now, before we go into the next section, if you are somebody who has yet to get started with M1 Finance and these are the features you were kind of waiting for and you want to go ahead and start opening up your account, I'll have a link for you in the show notes down below that does get you a nice sign up bonus, as well as help us out when it comes to creating more free content just like this. And don't worry, I actually got you covered on a complete guide that I'll also link up in the show notes down below for you. So you can sign up, and then I will show you step by step on setting up your account properly. Now, we can actually scroll down this page and it gives us even more information. So we can see the upcoming dividends. It gives us the ex-dividend date when that information has been provided, the payout date, the amount of shares that we have, the dividends per share, and the total amount paid. Now, these two you can see say confirming and the rest say estimate. So these two confirmed are the ones when the ex-dividend date has been passed. And so we are guaranteed those dividends even if we sell those shares. Anything on the estimate, of course, will be determined and changed based off of holding, buying, or even selling those holdings. So just something to keep in mind on why there's kind of a little bit of a difference on there as well. And then if we keep scrolling, this is probably one of my favorite parts of this, because typically you do need to have a paid software to get this information, is going to be the yield on cost information. So you can see the companies that you hold in the last 12 months, how much they paid out, what their current dividend yield is, and then what the yield on cost is. And if you don't know yield on cost, that's essentially how much I put into it to be able to buy these shares and getting paid out the dividend versus if you're buying in at the current price point. So it's really nice. You can see your average cost and then the payout frequency. So obviously if it's paid out monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, or annual, it will show up there. And if some of these, like Airbnb, is not paying out a dividend as of this recording, you can see it's all crossed off across the board. And then something like Google just recently started paying out a dividend. So for some reason, it's just not having the updated information on these sections just yet. Now, like I mentioned, there is also another section that I want to go over for dividend investors. So we're going to go back to our main portfolio, and I'm going to scroll down here where we're going to have our automations. So right over here, this is going to be a new section called dividend handling. So right now you can see it's toggled on to where it says cash. So it takes us to this whole new section right over here. And you can see the first thing is automatically defaulted to is add cash to your account, which has been traditionally what M1 Finance does with your dividends. But you can see there are a couple different new options, and I absolutely love this. So the first option is actually being able to reinvest into the underlying security. So effectively, whichever company paid out that dividend will go back into that specific company. So if you're somebody who prefers that option now is available for you, and you can go ahead and do that. Not my personal preference. I like to reinvest in whichever company is not performing as well, so long as I'm holding them. And then you can see this new option as well too here says I can sweep this into my high yield savings. So I can actually transfer dividends into my high yield savings account, which I have right over here. I can toggle this over and it'll have that money going into that account. But then this part right here is the next coolest thing that I've seen. And I haven't seen other companies really do this to this level of degree. I can customize my actual securities based off how I want those dividends to pay out. So you could see here with Airbnb, currently is not paying out a dividend, so we're not going to worry about that. So for example, let's go into Discover and let's go ahead and show the different options. So very similar to all the other options before, but now we could do it on a granular level. So I can have all the cash go into my overall account. I can have just this company reinvest in itself, or I can have this company pay into my high yield savings. So each of these companies, I can actually go ahead and choose to do each one individually. So I can have Discover reinvest in itself. I can tell Costco to invest in my high yield savings. I can leave Home Depot into cash, and then I can say, hey, Google, I want you to reinvest in yourself. And so you can go through each one individually, which I think is one of the coolest features you can start doing with your dividends, so you can have impact the way you would like to when it comes to investing with your dividends. Now, like I mentioned, this is going to be currently rolling out to more and more users. At this point, this is only on desktop. Hopefully it'll eventually be available on mobile for you as well. But of course, you can hop over to your desktop account so you can go ahead and do these changes and also check out the new dividend page. So now this video is currently on my True Financials channel, where I actually teach people about financial apps and services. And I don't actually show you guys my investing portfolio, but if you are curious about it, I do have a separate channel that I go ahead and share my investing platform and interest and investments. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, I'll have my video right up here on screen for you to go ahead and check out that other channel.